Let us start with the next chapter, that is biological classification. So what is biological classification? This is the basically that how scientists classify life or life of living organisms. First of all, come to artificial system of classification. This was the system which was based on some superficial similarities. Aristotle, who was the famous Greek philosopher, he tried to classify the organisms on the basis of their form and habitat. And finally, this system was also adopted to classify animals on the basis of their habitats. For example, land, air, and water. See that this classification by Aristotle and Theophrastus, according to them, animals are of three types. They are air dwellers, means aerial, land dwellers, which lives on land, and water dwellers, which are aquatic organisms. But this system of classification, this artificial system of classification, have some advantages and disadvantages. Advantages such as it is easy to add taxa to the system at any time. This is one of the advantage, and it is easy to use and reproduce in any time and age. But then also this system has many disadvantages, such as the criteria for the classification is exactly superficial. There is no natural relationship among the organisms. This system does not reflect any evolutionary relationship between the organisms. It means that the studies are not at all clear. It does not reflect any relationship, and many closely related organisms have been placed in different groups, while many unrelated organisms are placed in the same group on the basis of their habitat. For example, whales and fishes are present in the same group. Whales are mammals and fishes are pisces. Then also, after that, after the advent of microscope in the 17th century, natural system of classification came into existence. This system compares many characteristics, unlike artificial system. This increases the amount of information available from the grouping, and this system has specific advantages over the artificial system of classification. So finally, this system was adopted by many of the biologists. So now, what are advantages of natural classification? First of all, it avoids the heterogeneous grouping of unrelated organisms. Means if the organisms are unrelated, they are not present in the same groups. It helps in placing only related groups of organisms together. Means if they are mammals, so they are placed in the same position. It indicates the natural relationship among organisms, and also provides a clear view on the evolutionary relationship between different groups of living organisms. These are the advantages of natural classification. After that, many new different classifications were given, which we'll study afterwards. But after that, during classifying the organisms, two kingdom classification was given by Carl Linnaeus in 1758. According to him, the organisms are divided into two, either plant or animals. So kingdom Plantae and kingdom Animalia, given by Linnaeus. Now, what are the merits and demerits of two kingdom classification? Biologists recognize this classification for quite a long period of time. But the two kingdom classification is more and more informative. But after then, when more information start coming from various groups of the plants and animals, then two kingdom classification was also discarded by biologists. What are the reasons? What are the demerits of the two kingdom classification? First of all, there is no clear cut distinction in the lower forms of life. For example, Euglena. Euglena is a unicellular organism which have certain characteristic features of animals and certain features of plants. So there is a problem whether to keep it under plants or under kingdom Animalia. Same as Chlamydomonas. This is an unicellular alga, purely autotrophic, but has a locomotory structure also called flagella, like protozoans. So whether to keep it under plants or animals. These are the demerits of two kingdom classification. After that, three kingdom classification and four kingdom classification came into existence, but finally Robert H. Whittaker in 1969 gave five proposed 5-kingdom classification. According to him, the 5 kingdoms are Kingdom Plantae, Kingdom Fungi, Kingdom Animalia, Kingdom Protista, and Kingdom Monera. These kingdoms were placed according to the complexity of their cells. Organism, if they are prokaryotic, they are kept under Kingdom Monera. Eukaryotic, if they are unicellular, then under Kingdom Protista. If they are multicellular, to with cell wall or without cell wall, under Kingdom Animalia, and with cell wall under Kingdom Plantae and Kingdom Fungi. So this is the most commonly used classification known as 5-kingdom classification. These are the distinguished characters of 5-kingdom classification. You can see that all 5 kingdoms are given in the cell types except Kingdom Monera, which is prokaryotic. All others are eukaryotic cells. Nuclear envelope is absent in Kingdom Monera and present in all others. Cell wall is non-cellulosic in Monera, while in Protista it is present in some other form. Fungi mate is made up of chitin. In Plantae, cellulosic. In Animalia, cell wall is totally absent. Their mode of nutrition is also different. Monera either autotrophic or heterotrophic. Same is in Protista. Same is in fungi. And plants are only photosynthetic. Animals are heterotrophic. And mode of their cellular activities are also different. Cell wall is different. So these are the distinguished characteristics of 5-kingdom classification on the basis of which they are divided. Thanks. In our next turn, we'll study about Kingdom Monera.